everyone, and welcome back to Rooted Provider. I'm your host, Rebecca Maddie. I am an occupational therapist and the owner and host of Grow Beyond Collective, a collective membership for providers who are looking to learn together and collaborate and grow together. And today I am bringing you a topic that we have covered in depth in the Grow Beyond membership calls, but we've also come back to it several times in other conversations, and that is building home programming that sticks and helping our clients to grow in their adherence into that home programming. And so we're just going to talk about a few evidence-based practices that we can implement as we build home programs for our clients, and how we can start to support not only our clients, but each other in building programs that are going to stick. So let's dive right in to some of the things that are going to make a home program more successful for your clients and their families, of course. So research shows that adherence drops significantly the more tasks that are added to a program. So even if we send home only what seems like not very much, only maybe 3 to 5 exercises or a couple of routine changes, we've already probably likely exceeded the working memory of what we're asking people to do. And speaking from experience, I can only implement one change at a time personally, and even that change can be difficult because you're all of a sudden taking your routine from this automatic movement through your day and into, I have to think about what I have to do next, and I have to think about these next 5 tasks that I have to do that were assigned to me in therapy. And so we need to stop thinking about it as what the patient needs to be doing and start thinking about it more as what is the patient's capacity to do it. Adherence is a limited resource, and so we want to make sure that we are moving carefully through what we expect our patients and their families to be able to adhere to. Next up, we want to consider habit stacking, giving our clients the education on habit stacking and helping them implement this evidence-based practice for introducing change or introducing a new habit into somebody's routine. So instead of having to create new time to implement a new task, we want them to use habit stacking and tie it to an already existing habit that is in their day-to-day life. So for example, if a patient needs to do a specific stretch, can it be tethered to do this stretch every time you have to watch an ad during your, on your favorite YouTube channel, or do the stretch at school drop-off when you're waiting in the drop-off line? So thinking about what habits your client already has and how they can incorporate what you're asking them to do into those things already to stack those habits. If it's not attached to an existing habit, it likely doesn't exist in their world for a while, unless they have some very big buy-in and very high motivation for an extended period of time. The next key point I want us to think about when we are considering building a successful home program is the feedback loop of failure. So oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this, providers might think of a home program as like a set it and forget it. You hand it off. It is now the patient's responsibility. You've explained what the importance of it is, and we'll check in on it at your next appointment, whether that be in 2 weeks, a month, whatever that might be. But adherence is really maintained by short-term wins. And so creating a way for you and your client to check in more frequently than what they might have on their schedule for in-person therapy sessions can be a way for us to build adherence. So is it possible for you to just send out a quick email, whether that be 24, 48, 72 hours after you've given them the programming, to just say, hey, how has that been going today? Are there any roadblocks that you've experienced? And what do you think you might need help with for incorporating this over the next couple of days. This can be something that's automated and scheduled so that you don't have to think about it beyond when you are assigning that email or text to go out. To prevent that, it's almost like in a sense, like being ghosted by a client, and supporting their adherence, we want to make sure that we have a shared language with them for what progress looks like. And to support that, something that I've created is like the weekly check-in pulse, something that they can bring in, or a weekly pulse or a weekly check-in. And that is just a way for them to not only do the activity you've given them, but then also reflect on what went well or what did not go well. And it's very simple check boxes or circle how this went. And then you can see that if they are consistently circling one task as it was tough to get this one done, you can then address it in your next session and say, why is this one the most challenging? What is a way that I can support you in either continuing with this one, or do we need to find something different? So this weekly pulse or this weekly check-in can become very significant clinical data in helping you understand what is difficult for a client and what is working for them. So then you can then build even better programs, home programs, and carry over recommendations for them at home. The other piece of the handout that I have created is a contact sheet. So at the bottom of this check-in, I also encourage you to put in your preferred contact information for the client. So you can say something like, when you've noticed something is consistently going awry, reach out. Let me know. This allows your client to recognize that there is no shame in missing an exercise continuously, or there's no shame in not being able to fill this out, but that you are here in between sessions to support their progress. And I think that is another piece, not only of adherence, but allowing them to recognize that, okay, someone is here in my corner and I am feeling accountable and I have ownership of these tasks that I've been assigned. Okay. And so addressing with your clients before handing this off to them that it's totally normal to fall off the wagon with these things. It's difficult to incorporate new habits or routines. And so I want you to know that I'm here to support you and help overcome any barriers that we may not have even thought of yet. And so I want you to just continually thinking about what ways can I support them between sessions in a way that is most aligned with me being able to run a practice that does not burn me out at the same time. So my challenge for you this week is to just look at any home programming that you have assigned, and is it hitting any of these like specific points that might be inhibiting your client's ability to adhere to the program themselves. So take a moment just to reflect on some of the home programming you've assigned. How does it hit these areas? How does it maybe miss the mark in others? And then what are some ways that you can start to integrate some automated check-ins for your clients, or integrate some check-ins for your clients to do themselves as they progress through this home programming? I'd love to hear more about how you guys assign or share home programming with your clients and patients and their families. So please drop in the comments any ideas or things that have worked for you in the past, or ways that maybe I've given up on. If you've given up on giving home programs altogether, what has that looked like for you? And is there hope for you to incorporate that a little bit more into your future sessions? And how can we best support you as a community to build programs that really do stick? Okay, so I just appreciate you guys all for being here again today to talk about supporting our clients to the best of our abilities, and then building these systems and structures that not only support our clients, but also support the practice that is aligned with how we want to practice. I look forward to connecting with you next time, and thank you for joining me today on Rooted Provider.